Hello friends, on this part of algebra, I want us to look at the factorization by difference of squares or difference of two squares. And so what is difference of two squares? Now, when you look at our examples here, you notice one thing, that we have squares here and there's a minus. So minus is sometimes called the difference. So here you are finding the difference of two squares, and so there's a way in which we factorize such expressions. This is where we use the two operations of plus and minus, because when you multiply plus times minus, we always get a negative. So positive times negative is always negative. And so when we find the square root of a number, also we get two answers, a plus, a positive number, and a negative number. And so when we factorize difference of two squares, we use that same concept, as we shall see. And so here we'll start with our first question, which is factorize each of the following completely. So we have x squared minus y squared. And so here we have these two squares here and a minus there. And so when factorizing this one, we are going to have x minus y and x plus y. So we write the same things in the brackets here, we just change the two signs here. We use a minus here and a plus there. And so this is how we factorize the difference of two squares. So let's go to the next question here, part B of the question, which says 4x squared minus 9. So now, what are we going to do here? So one thing that you notice here, that we have 4 here and we have a 9 there. And so here you can try to find the square roots of these two numbers. So what is the square root of 4? So the square root of 4 is 2. Meaning when you multiply 2 times 2, that's when you get 4. So here we are going to have 2x times 2x minus the square root of 9, which is 3. 3 times 3, you write it like this. Because when you multiply 3 times 3, that's when you get 9. Here when you multiply 2x times 2x, you get 4x squared. Now that we have it in this form, we can now factorize by difference of two squares. So we'll get this 2x and that 3 there. We are going to factorize, we are going to have 2x minus 3. Okay, and then we open brackets again. Now that we've already used the minus here, we've remained with this 2x here. We're going to have 2x plus 3. This other 3 that remains here. And so we have factorized here by difference of two squares. And now we can go to the last question, which is part C of the question. We have 5 minus 125y squared. Okay, so here you notice that the square root of 5 cannot be found without a calculator, and the square root of 125. So what we do now here first is to notice one thing here, that 5 is common. 5 can be divided into 5. It can also be divided into 125. And so you are going to write the 5 outside the brackets like this, and then you open brackets. 5 into 5 is 1, minus 5 into 125 is 25 y squared. Okay, so at this stage now you notice another thing, that these two numbers that we have in the brackets have square roots. So we are going to have 5 here. 5, the square root of 1 is 1, so we write it like this, because when we multiply 1 times 1 we get 1, minus the square root of 25 is 5, because when you multiply 5 times 5 you get 25. So you are going to have 5 here and the y, because y squared means there are two y's here. So 5y and 5y, like that, because when you do 5 times 5 you get 25. Y times y, you get y squared. And so here, to complete the factorization, you are going to have 5 here, 1 minus 5y. Okay, so we've used these two here, then we remain with this one here. And so when you open other brackets, don't use the minus again. You are going to have y, or 1 plus 5y. So we have the same things in the brackets. The only difference is the sign that we have. So this is where difference of squares ends. Thank you for paying attention.